Hello, hello. We're back. Another character creation stream. Gotta create some more characters, or I guess we didn't create any of these characters, but we're building them. Yeah, so we're gonna the other day I streamed and I built, oh god, who was it? 5 of the heroes with the dice from the of the dice that I have here, because I'm going to be running for my in-person group, and I wanted to be able to hand out these dice boxes and just say, hey, which character do you want? And I'll have pre-made characters and everything already made up, so that it's just easier for them to dive into it. And I don't know which adventure it's going to be. It's probably not going to be the Delian Tomb. I think it's probably going to be just an adventure that I write. I have some ideas floating around. I've jotted a few things down for what the adventure would be. But yeah, we made those 5 characters. Sir John and Gwyleth and Corva and Embers and the other Vanticalisax. So those 5 are done. I have the PDF versions from Forge Steel here that we're using to build the characters. Exported those. I'm gonna, I think, probably get them laminated and whatnot. Hand those out to the players whenever they pick a character. But I thought it would be fun if we had all of the classes represented whenever they get to choose their characters, and they use whichever dice they would like. But yeah, so now we're going to be building the other 4 iconic heroes. And we're going to start probably with Desar. I've done some of the work for him, just doing some research. Since he's a conduit, I wanted to know which god he worships. So I decided to do a little research. It's Zarok, the lawgiver, and so I have his domains worked out already. But yeah, it's so we're gonna be doing the Conduit, Null, Talent, and Troubadour classes tonight, and we'll see how that goes. I've played both a Null and a Troubadour before, and they're both really, really fun classes. They're really, really fun. I play in a longer campaign with a few other players, and I've been playing that Null for a while, since I think January, and we're just now getting to 3rd level, I think, in a couple of sessions, and it's been super fun. The Null is like a martial artist and a speedster at the same time. It's super fun. But without further ado, let's make a conduit. Let's make Desar. Look at this guy. Look at this art for Desar. I mean, it looks amazing. It's awesome. If I put this art in front of my players, they're gonna be like, oh, who is this? I want to play this guy. I want to be this guy. And yeah, that's the idea. Hook them with the art, which has been sort of the thing I've been waiting for a long time, for the PDFs to come out, and then especially when the physical books come out. But let's make this guy. So he is a dwarf. So we get a few points to spend. We have 3 points to spend. I've also made this bigger so that you can actually read it. I was looking at the last stream that I did, and it was a little hard to read all this stuff, so I've made this a little bigger for you folks. So we get automatically runic carving, where you can carve a rune in a different rune each time, but carve a rune into your body somewhere, and you can get one of 3 different benefits at a time. So detection, basically, like Frodo's sword in the Lord of the Rings. You can detect different types of creatures or objects within a certain distance. I think 20 squares here. Light, you can shed light for 10 squares, and you can turn that off, so you can be just a walking light bulb, which I always I always think is hilarious. And then voice, you can speak telepathically with someone within 1 mile of you. And that's already really, really cool. So we have some points to spend. Let's look at these. Great fortitude. Your hardy constitution prevents you from losing strength. You cannot be weakened. That's always good. Grounded. Your heavy stone body and connection to the earth make it difficult for others to move you. Stability +1. I'm probably going to take this one because I want to show off that, dwarves are sturdy folk. They can't be knocked around. Sparks off your skin. Your stone skin affords you potent protection, +6 stamina per echelon. I like that. Stand tough. Your body is made to withstand the blows of your enemies. Your might score is treated as 1 higher for resisting potencies, and you gain an edge on might tests when called for to resist environmental effects or a creature's traits or abilities. So that's always good. Stone Singer, you have a magic connection to the earth. When you spend 1 uninterrupted hour singing, you can reshape any unworked mundane stone within 3 squares. You can't destroy this stone, but you can move each square of it anywhere within 3 squares of you, piling it off to the one side to dig a hole or building it up to create a wall. I really like just looking at all these. Like, this would thematically with 1 uninterrupted hour singing, that would really lend itself well to like a troubadour. But all of these, they're not like tied specifically to any class or like any kit. So it's really, really cool. You could pick any of them. There aren't any bad options. I think we've got to go with the stability, and I think spark off your skin. I think that's what we're going to do today. Culture. I went with a bespoke culture, obviously. We're going to do languages later. I can show you my language chart for this adventure because I have a few of the enemies picked out, and I want to have a good spread of languages so that everyone can understand at least some of the enemies. If an enemy's talking, I want someone in the party to understand what they're saying so that they can be the expert in that moment, So we have an environment. So we have nomadic, rural, secluded, urban, wilderness. I'm pretty sure he was in a city. In the fiction, in the dwarf fiction, they talk about he had one of the biggest, most successful churches in Vasloria, I believe is what they say. And until Ajax attacked. And so he, I think he was in an urban setting, I'm pretty sure. All of these characters are from cities, which I'm now just realizing, which might not be a good spread of things, but I think they balance each other out when it comes to other things. I think communal will definitely be it. He is a pillar to his people. Even in that fiction, he goes back and is helping out the citizens of a small town, trying to working. I think he's a stone cutter. So now we're going to go with upbringing. Lawless labor, martial, noble, maybe noble. I'm thinking academic, probably. Share books and other records, yeah. Yeah, academic. Let's go with academic, yeah. Skills we'll do at the end here. All right, career. Aristocrat, no, he wasn't that. Disciple, makes sense. We'll come back to disciple. Let's see if there are any other ones. Gladiator, no. Laborer, no. Performer, no. None of this. Warden, officer. Warden might make sense. He would look after the people of that town, maybe. You protect a wild region. Oh wait, no, wild region. I don't know. No, he's not. He's not one of those. I think it's probably going to be disciple. You got to lean into the the worshiper of a god. You know. Skills. We won't do that. So now we get a supernatural perk, which I think this is the first one we've had thus far. Arcane Trick is sort of like a mage hand type thing, except it has more restrictions. Creature Sense. I don't think we need Creature Sense if we have the rune thing that he can do. Familiar would be kind of cool. Familiar would be cool, and I think it would be very what would it be? Familiar territory for the party, in that you have a familiar. There's someone with a familiar in our other games. You know, someone has a familiar, and you can do an assortment of things. They know how to do that, how to utilize that as a tool, right? Invisible Force is kind of is Invisible Force, or is it Arcane Trick? Arcane Trick is like thaumaturgy, I'm pretty sure. The thaumaturgy thing. And then this one, Invisible Force, is almost like Mage Hand. I think I got those two mixed up. Psychic Whisper. Telepathic messaging. I don't think we need that, since we already have the other he's a dwarf. He can already talk to you in your mind. Ritualist. Magic ritual or blessing. They have a double edge on their next test. Might be useful. Thing Speaker is really interesting. So you can hold an object in your hand for one uninterrupted minute. You can sense whether it bears emotional resonance. Objects with emotional resonance could include treasured gifts, murder weapons, or personal keepsakes. If the director determines that the object bears emotional resonance, you learn the most dominant emotion associated with the object, then receive a vision that appears one of the that answers one of the following questions. What was the name of the person whose emotion? And you can ask those questions. I think this is really interesting because it sort of makes him then an expert. It does play into that sort of cliche of a dwarf knowing how to make things. And I like, and again, we really want to, with these characters, lean into those familiar territory, those cliches, so that the rest of the game, the new bits, are what you're focusing on learning, and not the rest of it. And that's largely what happens with all of Draw Steel, right? There's a lot of stuff it's like any other D20 fantasy, but it's just more fun, in my personal opinion. Inciting incident. So, his church was was burned. I'm pretty sure he left his people, or his people left me. or his people left him. It depends on how you look at it. Angel's Advocate. Freedom to worship. That's it. Your temple was destroyed in a religious conflict. The institution's leaders sought retaliation, but you saw in these actions a ceaseless cycle of destruction that would lead to more conflict. Instead, you became a hero to protect religious freedoms, so all worshippers could practice their faith without fear. That's probably the one, since Ajax is burning down churches. Hello, John. We're building a dwarf. We're building this dwarf, specifically, with his hourglass and his staff. And class. So I already picked a Conduit here. We get 18 stamina, have 8 recoveries, and piety. Yes, our resource. You get it at the start of your turn. You get 1d3 piety. The first time in an encounter that you or a creature within 10 squares takes damage greater than 10 plus your level in a single turn, you get 2. And then the first time in an encounter that you or an ally within 10 squares gains temporary stamina or uses a triggered action to reduce incoming damage or impose a bane or double bane on an enemy's power roll. So, yeah, all those. And I chose War and Protection because those are the 2 domains that his god is in charge of, believes in. What word would you use there? So now we use our characteristics. We figure what those are. Our normal characteristics. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? We get a 2 in intuition. So he's very headstrong. So do we want... What are we looking for? We're looking for... I'm not sure if... He's a learned man, right? Or dwarf, I should say. So maybe... Reason... We want a 2 in, and might we want a 2 in. You know, it looks strong. Yeah, let's go there, and then we have -1 and -1 in right here. Yeah, I can see a -1 in presence and agility. He probably weighs about 600 to 800 pounds, so that makes sense since he's made of stone. We get a skill here that we'll get back to, the war domain and the protection domain. We also get prayer over here. What is first level domain feature isn't showing up there, but that's fine. Where do we see it? Where do we see it? All right. We'll get to that in a second. Oh, domain feature. Duh. We get either sanctified weapon and an exploration skill, or protective circle and exploration skill. Let's see what sanctified weapon does. As a respite activity, you can bless a weapon. Any creature who wields the weapon gains a +1 bonus to roll damage with abilities that use the weapon. The benefit, this benefit lasts until you finish another respite. I like that. It's gonna take. Just thinking from the perspective of running this for people who've never played the game before, around a table, it's gonna be like. The person who plays Desar is always going to be like, hey, you +1, and that might slow things down just a tiny bit. This protective circle seems cool. You spend 10 uninterrupted minutes to create a protective circle on the ground large enough to hold one size 1 creature. The circle lasts for 24 hours until you create another or until you dismiss it. No action required. Only creatures you designate at the time of drawing the circle can enter and exit the area. While in the protective circle, a creature can't be targeted by strikes. Okay. I have to find a way to utilize that. I like that. I like that. We get an exploration skill as well, a triggered action. Okay, so this is either, this is a big one, word of guidance or word of judgment. So word of guidance is a target makes an ability roll for a damage dealing ability, and it targets one ally, and that power roll gains an edge. And if you can spend more piety to have that make it double edge, to have that have a double edge. Or you can do word of judgment, which is the same thing. One ally, except it would be the target would take damage from an ability that uses a power roll, and you can put a bane onto that target. I think it's probably going to have more use. I've seen word of guidance come up a lot more than word of judgment. Probably because most of my players who play conduits take that one instead of the other one. Prayer of destruction. You gain a +1 to all of your damage. This is like almost like a kit or a what do they call it for the talent? We'll find out in a second. But something. Prayer of distance. This is basically just, you know, another buff. It's like a kit for marshals, but conduits and sensors and I believe talents get something different. Prayer of distance. Your god blesses you with the ability to stretch your divine magic farther. You gain a +2 bonus to your distance. Prayer of soldier's skill. Okay, this is like a kit, like we saw with whoever it was the last time we streamed. We did this. There was a similar thing like this. I think maybe for the sensor, maybe. It was one of them where they had basically here have this kit instead of whatever all of this is, and it doesn't give you like a signature ability, I'm pretty sure, but it, you know, it gives you all the other benefits of a kit. Prayer of speed. You gain a +1 bonus to your speed and +1 bonus to your disengage. Could be useful. And Prayer of Steel. Your god fills your body with the light of creation, making you harder to hurt and move. Stamina +6 and stability +1. I really want to go into this. Lean into this that dwarves are hard to move. Because then when they fight a dwarf, it's going to be tough. And then they have a ward. A +1 to bonus to saving throws. Okay. The gods imbue a divine swiftness within you. Whenever an adjacent creature deals damage to you, you can shift up to a number of squares equal to 2 after the damage is dealt. So that's probably your intuition score. But they just put 2 in there. And that's always useful. You know, pivot. Sanctuary Ward. In response to a foe's aggression, your god protects you. Whenever another creature damages you, that creature can't target you with a strike until you harm them or one of their allies, or until the end of their next turn. Ooh, I like that. Spirit Ward. Invisible spirits surround you if you are harmed. Whenever an adjacent creature deals damage to you, they take corruption damage equal to 2. I like that. I like it. That would be... Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool to imagine, right? You channeling these spirits as your power. Yeah, I think we might go with that one. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so now we are doing a 2 signature abilities. Blessed Light. Deals some damage. And you gain surges. You give your allies surges. That's cool. That's cool, yeah. Corruption damage, and one ally within distance can spend a recovery. That's always good. Yeah. This might be it. We want to focus again on this is the healer. All right, this is they do a lot of healing. They heal a lot, even when they deal damage and stuff. They're always looking to heal people. Holy Lash, you pull them closer in for the kill. That's nice. Lightfall's great. We might have to go with Lightfall because Lightfall is you deal. It's a 2 burst, all of them in the area, and then you can teleport yourself and each ally in the area to unoccupied spaces in the area. I imagine we're kind of building Desar out to be like getting into the thick of things. We're giving him a bonus to stamina. We're when people hit him, he can hurt them back, for free. So I think Lightfall is probably a good one. And it also allows him to do some teleporting nonsense as well. Sacrificial Offer is range 10, which we're probably not going to go with, but just because it's ranged. But let's see. Choose yourself or one ally within distance that character can impose a Bane on one power roll made against them before the end of their next turn. This is something that might be hard to remember in the heat of things while everyone's learning everything else. Throwing those other things might be a little more difficult to do. So for this purpose, it's a really cool ability, but it's probably not going to work out for this specific thing. Staggering Curse, holy damage, and just sliding them around. I like it. Warrior's Prayer. Okay, a lot of on the high side, the higher end for damage, and then someone gains temporary stamina. And then Wither. It's ranged. And one creature or object, corruption damage, and a Bane on their next roll. Okay, cool. Cool. I like that. I think it's gonna go light. I think we're gonna go Lightfall and Blessed Light. No, Drain, and then Lightfall. I think that sounds right. And again, I'm going to be following the Dice Society's advice on how to end the Delian Tomb. Frankly, the advice that they give in that as well on how to if they're new players at the table, you don't start them with all of the whole character sheet at once. You start them with just their signatures for the first battle, and you introduce heroic resources in the next battle. And I already have an idea of like covering up certain things with sticky notes and stuff on their character sheet. So this is their 3 cost. Call the Thunder down. You can push each ally. Okay, so it's a 3 cube within 10. To some sonic damage and pushing them. That's always good. Oh, you can push each a willing ally in the area the same distance. That's nice. Font of Wrath. You summon a spirit of size 2 who can't be harmed and who appears in an unoccupied space within distance. The spirit lasts until the end of your next turn. You and your allies can move through the spirit space, but enemies can't. An enemy who moves within 2 squares of the spirit for the first time in a combat round or starts their turn there takes holy damage equal to 2. That's really cool. We saw that in full display. I'm pretty sure in when they were laying siege to that. What was it? To that human watchtower, the mill rather. In one of my videos, it was really, really cool and really effective too, because they just take damage automatically. Judgment's Hammer, knocking people prone, dealing holy damage and then knocking them prone potentially. I like that, and it also teaches them potencies, which another thing that we need to keep in mind here when we're building them. This is Forged Steel, yes. Violence will not aid thee. The first time on a turn that the target deals damage to another creature, the target of this ability takes 1d10 lightning damage. Save ends. This will be a fun one for my players to be able to be on the lookout for. That'd be a lot of fun. Call Down the Thunder is good. I think Violence Will Not Aid Thee. Thee is probably good. I believe, yes. AJ Fraley, yes. It's all up to date on the PDFs, I believe. We're only building them up to just first level, so I'm not going all the way. Oh my god, writing out a character sheet by hand would be a lot. Yeah. This is way easier. This install, they're both really, really easy. Violence Will Not Aid Thee. I think we're gonna go with this one. I think it is kind of doing stuff off turn and trying to remember that, which I'm hesitant to do just because it's gonna be new people. Let's do Judgment's Hammer. It again teaches them potencies. Yeah, I like it. And then they're 5 cost. Corruption's Curse. Corruption damage and damage weakness 5. Save ends. That's tough. That's tough. Curse of Terror. Frightened. Again, teaching them different conditions would be good. This is also good, letting them heal. But they can already do that with Healing Grace as a maneuver. And Sermon of Grace. It's a 4 burst each ally in the area. Each target can spend a recovery. Additionally, each target can use a free triggered action to end one effect on them that is ended by a saving throw or that ends at the end of their turn, or to stand up if prone. That's always good to have. Yeah. I think I like the idea of Curse of Terror. Like, you know, he's blasting these fools and then they run away screaming, and it's a good bit of damage too. 15? Yeah, that's a lot. Again, I want, obviously they already have a built-in healing thing with Healing Grace. Every turn they can just do that for free, and then, you know, spending other points to, you know, juice it up a little bit. So they already have that healing thing under control, but I do want to show off how the Conduit is no joke, and you're not just a healer. You can still do a lot of stuff. And I think that might be it. Oof, that might be it for Desar. I'm going back and forth on if I want to introduce complications into it, at least at the start. So I think we're going to do skills. Languages I'm already sorting out on my own, but we get skills. So what would be good for skills? Gamble, handle animals, hide, interrogate would be good. Interrogate would be good, yeah. Again, this is about this is going back to dwarves are good at making things. That should be you know, heavily introduced in this character sheet. Like, gotta back that up. I like blacksmithing, because blacksmithing comes into play more than most of those other skills, at least in the adventure that I'm thinking of. So magic, history, culture. I think we already have religion as a skill. So I think maybe magic, yeah? Be able to understand rituals and things. All right, just that language left to sort out. 2 lore skills. Probably my gut saying history. Or rumors. Rumors would be good. Rumors and society would be good if you're the head of a church, people's societies. Yeah, I think rumors and society. And then we get two more skills. What is it? Interpersonal and lore skills. Empathize would be good. Empathize and persuade. Yeah, that sounds all right. All right. I think it's just that one language that we still need to sort out, but I think we're done with Desar, yeah. Yeah, so he's a conduit of war and protection. He's a dwarf, and he has he's a disciple for his career. He has stability of 2, disengage of 1, his 8 recoveries, and he has 30 stamina, which is on par with like the I think I was looking over the tactician. I think the tactician has 33 hit points or stamina rather, and so you're competing almost with that for sure. We'll go back to iconic heroes, and what I found, I don't know how to access it again, but no, not this. Oh no. Party overview. There it is, right in front of my face. We can look up who has what skills and how they, where are we doubling up. So I might want to go back and fix these so that we have a wider spread of the skills and make sure that everyone has that the party has all of these skills across all 5 or 9 of them, I suppose. And I don't know what the party composition is going to be quite yet, because they're going to have 9 of them to look at, and I might write up a little blurb about each one and read that off, or pass them out as like cards or something with the art. Not sure, but yeah. So next is, if we're looking at these, going in order, Conduit, it's a Null. Ardashir, I believe is how you pronounce it. And look at this guy. My God. He is literally punching the soul out of that hobgoblin. It's amazing. So we're going to go with Ardashir. Who's next? Ardashir, I believe. Yeah. This, another one that's made out of stone. So he is a Hakan. No debate there. It's gonna be so we have 3 points to spend. It's gonna be tough not to pick Doomsight. Doomsight is if the uninitiated, working with your director, you can predetermine an encounter in which you will die. When that encounter begins, you become doomed. While doomed, you automatically obtain a tier 3 outcome on tests and ability rolls, and you don't die no matter how low your stamina falls. When you die immediately, you then die immediately at the end of the encounter, and you can't be returned to life by any means. If you don't predetermine your death encounter, you can choose to become doomed while you are dying with the director's approval. No action required. Doing so should be reserved for encounters in which you are dying as a result of suitable heroism, such as making a last stand against a boss or saving civilians, or when the consequences of your actions have finally caught up to you, not because you're playing a one-shot and have nothing to lose. Carl. Additionally, when your stamina reaches the negative of your winded value and you are not doomed, you turn to rubble instead of experiencing death. You are unaware of your surroundings in this state and can't regain stamina or have this effect undone in any way. After 12 hours, you regain stamina equal to 0. So, you're still dying, but you're no longer a bunch of little rocks. I really like that. So we're probably going to go with Doomsight, but let's see. All is a feather. You are exceptionally strong. You gain an edge on tests made to lift and haul heavy objects. Forceful. Whenever you force move a creature or object, the forced movement distance gains a +1 bonus. Great fortitude. Your hardy constitution prevents you from losing strength. You cannot be weakened. And then stand tough. Your body is made to withstand the blows of your enemies. Your might score is treated as 1 higher for resisting potencies, and you gain an edge on might tests when called for to resist environmental effects or a creature's trait or ability. So the same thing that the dwarf has. I think forceful would be fun. We're definitely going Doomsight. That's already happening. That's already happening. So forceful, I think, is next. Because I like that. I like the movement distance. You'll be able to move them around a little bit. So let's keep that in mind when we're building out the Null aspect of this character. Culture, bespoke culture. I'm not sure about the Hakan. I think they are nomadic. I think they're nomadic or secluded or wilderness. Oh God. I think nomadic. I'm pretty sure. I like the idea of them sort of moving from place to place and never being in one place for too long. I like that. An organization, communal, obviously. And then, what is it? Upbringing. Academic, creative, lawless, labor, martial, noble. Labor? I could see labor. Or creative. I know there's a bit in the orc ancestry when they meet Corva that I really liked, where they're talking about like they all come into the conversation with certain expectations about what an orc is and what orcs like to do. They like to they're martial creatures who like war, and Corva is like, no, we also like creating things. We like green things, that kind of thing. So I like the idea of representing that with maybe the Hakan as well. So I think labor. We get a skill and another skill and another skill, but we will work on that in a bit. Do we get just 3 skills? Okay, so we don't get a perk with that. Okay. Oh, I think we get a perk from this. Yeah. Agent, aristocrat, artisan. That can be cool. Beggar, criminal, disciple, farmer, gladiator would be cool. He was forced into being a gladiator, and he, yeah, that could be cool. I don't know much about him. I don't think there's much written about Ardashir, really. So I'm kind of just going with it. Laborer could be fun. Performer, mage's apprentice, politician, sage, soldier, sailor, warden, watch officer. I think let's go with gladiator. We might have to go back and change the culture, right? Labor. We might want to. Let's see. No. Where is it? Oh, choose upbringing. Here. Academic, lawless, labor. No, I think labor probably fits. Labor still fits. All right. We get an exploration perk. Whenever you fail a might test, you can lose stamina equal to 1d6 plus your level to improve the outcome of the test by 1 tier. You can use this perk only once per test. That's interesting. Whenever you're in the wilderness, you become once you become hidden from a creature, you don't need to cover or concealment to stay hidden from them. I like that being like part of the stone. Danger sense, a natural environment. You can't be surprised, and you can tell what's going on in the like any natural disasters. I like that. Oh yeah, could be a laborer who became a gladiator when he came to human lands. I like that. Yeah, and I like danger sense because that it really does kind of tie in with, hey, someone who is someone who doesn't know someone who's very tied into nature. I like that. And then this is the throwing someone and catching someone feats. Monster Whisperer, that could be interesting. Put your back into it. Whenever you make a test to assist a test and obtain a tier 1 outcome, the assisted test doesn't take a bane. Okay. Oh yeah, friend catapult with the forced movement bonus. Oh dang, that could be cool. Yeah, I think another person in the party. Danger sense is flavorful with Doomsight. I like that. Yeah, yeah. Someone else in the party. I think we already have that combo of I'll throw you and then I'll catch you. So I like that. But I don't want to double dip with that. Quite. I want everyone to be very, very unique. So I think maybe Danger Sense will be the one that we're going to go with. At the start of a group test or montage test, you can spend a hero token. All participants make tests as if they also had any skill you had from the exploration group. Okay. So if we go with this, we have to then go with a bunch of exploration skills, which is fine. Teamwork. When you take your first turn during a montage test, you can both make a test and assist another hero's test. I like that. Woodwise, when you make a test using a skill from the exploration skill group and at least one of the d10s rolled is a 1, you could re-roll 1 d10. You can use this perk only once per test. Okay. Maybe not that. I think it's probably Danger Sense. Yeah. He's one with nature. He's not only has he perfected his body, but he's also one with nature as well. I really like that. And then choose an incident. Warrior's home. And he didn't grow up in an orphanage. He grew up in as a part of his tribe or collective or whatever it is up in the north. Born a noble. No, I don't think so. Well, I mean, noble could be anything. He could be like one of the leaders of the tribe or something. Oh, and then your power-hungry nature of your family. I don't know if that's true. You saw that competitors brought there by circumstance and not choice suffered. Not sure if he's going to be a stranger in a strange land, as it were. I don't think that really fits. Your final battle with your rival ended with you victorious, and still you are unsatisfied. There are other greater foes out there, and you need to find them. No, Heckler. I've read this one. I don't think it really fits. Betrayed. I don't think any of them fit for now, so I'm going to write something up that will be different to reflect that kind of like you were brought or you ventured away from your place as an omen, to follow your weird, I think it's called, yeah, your word. All right, the Null. Oh no, it was a good suggestion. Thank you. No need to apologize. So I see him. So he gets agility and intuition, a +2 in both of those, and then we have either +2 in another one, which I might go with might. Or we could go 1, 1, -1, and then we could have a good spread of like, you know, maybe we go with reason for what he knows about the nature. You know, we definitely want to have that, and then also I don't know where the other one would go, but a -1 might go in presence because he is a stranger. He's not, you know, used to their like these people, these fleshy people's culture. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna go with for our yeah, that sounds right. All right. Okay, choose a tradition. So I have been since about January playing a null that is a meta-kinetic, and it is so much fun. So much fun. And so I know how that subclass works quite well. So what is cryokinetic is the one where you use cold energy. That could be really cool since he's from the north. He could be, you know, freezing people. Like that could be cool. Chronokinetic, your training unmoors you from temporal reality at first level, allowing you to use the flow of time as another dimension that all things move through. Now, I want to, I don't want to double up because we're going to make the talent next. So I kind of want to go the time bender one for that maybe, and the null and the talent just naturally are very, very similar because they both use psionics, right? They're both psionic classes. So I think cryokinetic. I haven't even read into cryokinetic. That really interests me. Yeah. Or metakinetic, which is I think the best subclass. But you learn to see through the illusions of the universe to more fully understand your body and its psionic potential. Let's go with cryokinetic, and we always reserve the right to, you know, maybe undo it. Metakinetic feels very muscle null, but the cryo plus mountain man flavor is cool. I think we're gonna try. What did we just pick? I don't even remember. What did we just pick? Oh my god, cryo? Yeah, cryokinetic. Yeah. I think freezing people is a nice flavor. Yeah. Slowing down enemies. Okay. Dope. So we get skills. Psionic augmentation. So this is like a kit. This one is literally like a kit, and this one as well. But then we also have psionic +1 damage. But it behaves like a kit without giving you weapons, because why would you need weapons as a null? I don't know how. We're going to find out together how much force movement it has. I'm not sure. Density augmentation, +1 stability. I like that. You know, you plant yourself. That's what signatures are for. Yeah, I think you get 2 of them with the null. I like. You know, you plant yourself, and you're here to stay. You know, you put yourself in a position with purpose. I like that with stability. +1 damage would be good, and then +1. I think speed augmentation might have been the one that I'm rocking right now. Of course, these can also be changed out. I think on a respite, I believe. Yes, during respite. So I think for right now, I want to kind of build him as a speedster a little bit. Let's see how that goes. So we get 2 signatures. Dance of Blows. It's a 1 burst. You can slide one, so damage, and then you can slide one adjacent enemy up to a number of squares equal to 2. So you're moving people around. I like that. Faster than the eye. It's 2 creatures at melee 1, and you deal average damage, and then you can deal damage equal to 2 to 1 creature or object adjacent to you. So this is you lashing out at least 2, possibly 3 different creatures around you, you know, like the Flash. Boom, 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 boom. I like that. Inertial Step is the one that's my go-to for signatures. As my Null character, you can shift up to half your speed before or after you make the strike. I like this. More movement. I like it. I like it. You need to get in position. I think we're gonna pick this one, and then also you can tort your joint lock. So you grab people. So I think cryokinetic is about what, slowing them down, holding them in position. I like that. So we're probably going to go with joint lock as well. Kinetic strike, you can taunt them with deal damage, taunt them, and maybe slide them. And then magnetic strike, psychic damage, and pulling them closer to you with maybe cold, maybe frost. You know, sliding them, making the floor icy. And then this is the opposite, is pushing them away. And then before the push is resolved, you teleport the target to a square adjacent to you and opposite the one they started in. If the target can't be teleported this way, you can't push them. Oh, okay. And then pressure points, which is damage, and then also possibly weakening them. Save ends. I like the idea of grabbing them. I like the idea of this one being like a grabber. I plant myself here, I hold on to you, and you get ready for the hurt. So grabbing, and then I think the vertical pull, the magnetic strike. Now our 3 cost. Oh, don't forget you have that force movement bonus from Ancestry, but could also swap that out. It seems less relevant. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, we kind of did say, like, moving them around would be cool. Vertical pull, 3, and it's only melee. Oh, yeah, maybe we need to redo that. So pushing them around would be cool. Pushing them around, grab, maybe slide, and this is also good because then you can slide them into each other, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe kinetic strike would be good. Yeah, kinetic strike, and then what's the other? Moving them around one. Vertical pull and push. Phase inversion strike. Yeah, let's go phase inversion strike. This is their 3 cost. Chronal spike. Some good damage, and you can shift up to half your speed before or after you make this strike. Additionally, whenever an effect lets you make a free strike or use a signature ability, you can use this ability instead, paying its discipline cost as usual. This would be a good sort of showing off. This is a game of exceptions. I like that. Each target, so there's a 2 burst, each enemy in the area. Each target takes psychic damage equal to 4 until the start of your next turn. The size of your null field ability increases by 1 at the end of the current turn. Each enemy in the area of your null field ability takes psychic damage equal to 2. That's cool. That might be a little bit more to remember, but that's really, really cool, and I might want to swap out and get that for my my null. That'd be cool. Relentless Nemesis. This is the one where, yeah, you target someone and then you can follow them up with a free triggered action um, if they if they move. Yeah, you can shift up to 8 squares, and you have to follow them up and stay with them. I like this one. And then Stunning Blow. Hey, yeah, this is, if we're gonna go with forced movement, this one is dazed and slowed, sort of nullifying their ability to move around. I like this. Maybe Chronal Spike. Stunning Blow sounds good. What did we pick beforehand? We had, yeah, pushing them around. Yes, yes. That was going to be tonight, that battle. But I think it's going to be pushed back by a couple of weeks. And we'll be done with Delian Tomb. But yeah, have a good one. Thanks for the insight with the build. Yeah. So I think taunting them and sliding them around, I like that, because then you get that bonus for yeah, bring this bonus from your ancestry. So if the goal is to, you know, move them around as much as possible, then it's going to be moving them and then also restricting their movement. I think it's got to be Stunning Blow. Dazed and slowed. It's gonna be I'm gonna regret choosing that when I'm up against the null in battle. I'm definitely gonna regret that. Arcane Disruptor. Ooh. A lot of damage against one person in melee 1, and then they're weakened. Okay. And then while they're weakened, they have ooh, they take damage equal to 2 whenever they use a supernatural ability that costs malice. That's cool. Yeah. Maybe that one. And then Impart Force. You just push them. You push them really far. An object you target must be your size or smaller. You gain an edge on this ability. Additionally, for each square you push the target, they take 1 psychic damage. I like that. I really, really like that. If we're going for, I'm going to punch you across the room, this is the ability. Phase Strike. I like this. For a moment, your foe slips out of phase with this manifold. Uh-oh. So psychic damage and goes out of phase. You can literally just erase them from the battle for I think. Wait a minute. A target who goes out of phase is slowed, has their stability reduced by 2, and can obtain a tier 3 outcome on ability rolls. So yeah, they are just partially like out of the manifold. I really like that. A squad unto myself, a 2 burst, and then you take the disengage move action as a free yeah, and it's just damage, and then you can take the disengage move action as a free maneuver before or after you use this ability. I like that. This is the one that I use for my null. I think. I like Phase Strike. I think pushing someone, pushing them is really cool. Impart Force. A single touch from you, and your enemy flies backwards. And it's a maneuver. But do you need that if you already have the knockback maneuver? If you already have the knockback maneuver and you already gain a bonus to that because you're a null and because you and because you are a Hakan, do you really need Impart Force? I think maybe Phase Strike is the coolest, most flavorful. Arcane Disruptor is obviously the most damage, right? Yeah, most damage. Yeah, I think because you got to have a couple of people who are like tanks. You know, I'm gonna probably whenever everyone's picking their characters, I'm gonna say, okay, so we have to have one of these and one of these, and then the one of these would be like the strikers or the beefy sort of brawlers are going to be the Fury and the Null. You're going to have either one of those or two of them, but you're going to need one of them. And then you're going to need someone who's a healer, who that would be either the Sensor or the Conduit or both. And I think Arcane Disruptor would be cool. Sort of, I can see them weakening them and it being like, you know, Frost is covering them. And this is the most flavorful. I mean, Phase Strike slips out of phase with this manifold is really cool. It's really cool. No, let's go with Arcane Disruptor. Let's go with Arcane Disruptor. And then we get a crafting skill as well. And we're not doing complications quite yet, so we're going to do skills. Nomadic. And so I'm also going to have to remember that we're not going for a lot of interpersonal skills because I don't think that he really understands the culture of Greater Vasloria or humans or, you know, any of those folks quite so well. He might know orcs and hobgoblins and those types of creatures, but not the average human or polder. So we're probably going to go with interpersonal. Gymnastics would make a lot of sense. Healing would make sense. Jump, lift, yeah. Let's go with lift. Ride. A mount. I don't think they need to. They don't tire or anything, so I don't think they really think they need mounts. I think let's go with gymnastics. That makes sense. Either a crafting or explanation or an explanation skill, exploration skill. Cooking. I like cooking. That could be fun. Endurance, though, that would be good. Jewelry, lift, mechanics, navigate, ride, swim, tailoring. It'd be fun if he knew tailoring. Well, he has to, you know, if he was a gladiator, he could repair his you know, clothes himself. That's makes sense from all the wounds. Let's go with climb. And then another exploration or interpersonal. Maybe handle animals? Yeah. Like he had to, you know, handle a lot of animals up in the woods, up in the north. And then he probably fought a lot of them as a gladiator. So we get exploration skills. 2 more. Lift, I think makes sense. And heal, maybe? Use mundane first aid, yeah. If he came from, I think we chose communal. Yeah, that would make sense. And then choose an inciting incident. Oh, I'm gonna already reflavor that, and then we can just need more skills. 2 more either interpersonal or lore skills. Not a lot of interpersonal stuff, I don't think. Culture, definitely not. Monsters. I was hoping we would be able to get monsters, yeah, for sure. And nature. Monsters and nature seems good. That's what nature, and then what else we got? What else we got? Rumor, society, strategy, timescape. No, he very, very simple. Very, very simple. He knows his area, and then he knows the gladiator fighting pits. Yeah, and then a crafting skill. One more crafting skill here. It would be nice if he knew a lot about cooking, and he was like a chef back home. I kind of like that. Like in the gladiator pit, he would be, cooking for the other indentured, the people who are in indentured servitude, the other fighters. I kind of like that, and the rest of it doesn't. Like forgery, no, he's not a. I don't think they lie really. So I think cooking, yeah. And then I think everything else is just languages, right? Yeah, language and then inciting incident, which I can write up. And then yeah, Ardashir, save changes. All right. So he was a gladiator, and now he trained his body to be a cryokinetic null. And he was born a Hakan, and he has 21 stamina. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And 8 recoveries. I know, playing as a null in my Monday night game, I am constantly running out of recoveries and constantly going into dying at the very least. Yeah, so it's I can understand that. But he's a size of 1L, which is really cool. And he has wealth, and he is well known. People know who he is. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to have to put that in there for sure. All right. And we'll go back to iconic heroes. And the next one we're going to do is the talent. The talent, of course, is this devil, who was well, we'll get into it here. She is, we don't really know what her name is. Glass or maybe Shatter is what I believe Matt said on a recent stream. So we don't really know what her name is. She's someone who was kept in like an evil version of the X-Men school. And yeah, she can't speak. She can only speak through her mind and through images, that kind of thing. So she's a nonverbal person, and she's a devil. So she gets Silver Tongue, ironic, and 3 points to spend on her ancestry points. Yeah, ancestry points on different abilities. Well, she has beast legs in the art here. You can see there are her legs. So maybe beast legs is what we're gonna get, or maybe she just they're not quite as powerful beast legs. Barbed tail. Your pointy tail allows you to punctuate all your actions once per round. When you make a melee strike, you can deal extra damage with the strike equal to 0. I'm not sure if she will be making a lot of melee strikes. Glowing eyes. This one makes sense. It's a triggered action. You take damage from a creature. Yeah, we're gonna have to take this one. If she's a talent, we're gonna have to take this one. You curse your attacker for daring to do you harm. The creature takes 1d10 plus your level psychic damage. Yeah, this is it. And then your eyes let you see through darkness, fog, and other obscuring effects. You don't take a bane on strikes made against creatures with concealment. I like that. Hell sight. Impressive horns. Your cherished horns are larger than your average devil's and a hardened representation of your force of will. Whenever you make a saving throw, you succeed on a roll of 5 or higher. A prehensile tail I like, and wings. In the art, she doesn't have wings. So we might not go with wings, but it's cool. Let your players fly. You possess wings powerful enough to take you airborne. While you're using your wings to fly, you can stay aloft for a number of rounds equal to 0. Minimum of 1 round, though. Before you fall. While using your wings to fly at 3rd level or higher, you have damage weakness 5. Cool. Okay. So I think... What do we have? 3 points? Yeah, 3 points. Glowing eyes is cool. And then I think we might go prehensile tail. Can't be flanked. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Backstory or culture rather. Secluded makes sense. She was, I believe, kept in an evil sort of Professor X's home for weirdos. So I think probably secluded. Organization. Communal, her and the other kids, I suppose. And academic. Yeah, I think academic. If it's a school, and I could be getting that wrong, but I believe that's what it is. Her career: an agent, aristocrat, artisan, beggar, disciple, criminal, explorer, farmer, laborer, gladiator. Gladiator might kind of work, but I'm not sure. A mage's apprentice probably works better. Performer, politician, sage, sailor, soldier, watch officer, warden. Yeah, I think mage's apprentice. You studied magic under the mentorship of a more experienced mage, except not as nice. The supernatural perk. Okay, arcane trick. That is the thaumaturgy-like thing. Creature sense. I like this. I like creature sense. I like, since she is nonverbal and she can just, project images into someone's mind. I like the idea of that person being the one who gives everyone the heads up. I like that. A familiar. That could be really kind of sweet, actually. The only other person who, was with her during, when she was locked up. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Invisible force fits with the talent, of course. Psychic whisper. Yeah. We might have to come back to this because I think maybe the talent gives you something like this. Thing speaker we already have with Desar, so maybe not. And ritualist, I don't think so. I think probably psychic whisper if we don't get it automatically. Familiar or creature sense. So we'll come back to the supernatural perk. Inciting incident probably won't have what we want here. Magic of friendship. Gifted you a familiar as a magic pet. Another jealous apprentice captured the familiar and slipped away in the night. Haunted by your pet's absence, you adventure to find your kidnapped friend and prevent others from feeling your loss. While practicing a spell, caused it to backfire and your memories were wiped. No, I'm not gonna have to I'm just gonna have to write something for her. Talent. The talent is the other psionic class. Think think this. like 11 from Stranger Things, that kind of thing. I think, you know, Professor X. So reason and presence, we get a 2 in. And I think maybe agility, we want another 2 in, and then maybe -1, -1. I think so. I think -1 presence. Oh no, presence is our characteristic. Okay, never mind. Then we will get might and yeah, might and agility. Maybe. Yeah, I think might and agility, yeah. And then choose a tradition. Okay. Chronopathy is the time traveling one. Chronopathy abilities allow you to view future and past events and to manipulate time to aid allies and hinder foes. Telekinesis abilities allows you to physically manipulate creatures and objects. And then telepathy abilities allow you to communicate with, read, and influence the minds of other creatures. I like telepathy because that is the way that she you know, interacts with other people, and I kind of like that it's different, and it you know, sets her apart from the rest of them with something that's quite obvious, you know. So we get interpersonal lore skills, psionic augmentation. So this is almost like our kit. Battle augmentation. This is for people who are, you know, who use weapons and whatnot. Density. So this is, again, very much like the Null, you know. Stability, light armor, light weapons. You know, you use weapons with your psionics. You are healthier, and you can't be moved around. This is the distance, so you gain a +2 to your distance on psionic and ranged abilities, a little bit more damage on psionic abilities, and then your speed. I think maybe force would make sense. Yeah, a little bit extra damage. And then you also get a ward. So you have Entropy Ward. It slows time down for your enemies. Whenever a creature deals damage to you, their speed is reduced by an amount equal to 2, and they can't use triggered actions until the end of their next turn. Very cool. Repulsive Ward. I like this, certainly for the telekinesis one. You can push your attacker up to a number of squares equal to 2 whenever they damage you. And Steel Ward, your ward reacts to danger, protecting you from future harm. Whenever you take damage after the damage resolves, you gain damage immunity equal to 2 until the end of your next turn. And then Vanishing Ward, the one that always trips me up. So whenever you take damage, you become invisible until the end of your next turn. That's cool. I think pushing them around gives the sense of you know, the real talent. I like that. Gain 2 signatures. Entropic Bolt. The target takes 1 extra corruption damage. So it's corruption damage and slows them based on the presence. Oh, okay. So if you keep hitting them, you're going to take more and more damage every time. And then if you become strained, meaning you go into heroic resource debt for this ability, you gain 1 clarity when you obtain a tier 2 or tier 3 outcome on the power roll. I like that. Hoarfrost. It's ranged, 1 creature, some cold damage, and you slow them. And if you're strained, you are slowed until the end of your next turn. Additionally, a target slowed by this ability is restrained instead. Incinerate, which would be fire, obviously. Fire damage, and a 3 cube within 10. A column of fire remains in the area until the start of your next turn. Each enemy who enters the area for the first time in combat round or starts their turn there takes 2 fire damage. Yeah, we have a talent in the party with my Null character, and they use this all the time. It's really useful, really good crowd control. So this is a good one, yeah, for sure. Kinetic grip. Slide them. Yeah, 1 creature, and you just slide them. Or knock them prone. Okay, plus reason. Cool. You must vertical push instead of sliding if you're strained. All right. Kinetic pulse. Psychic damage and push them. The size of the burst increases by 2. Oh, it's a 1 burst. If you're strained, the size of the burst increases by 2. If you're bleeding, and you are bleeding until the start of your next turn. Bleeding is no joke in this. Materialize. You picture an object in your mind and give it form directly above your opponent's head. You deal damage, and a worthless size 1M object drops in onto the target to deal damage, then rolls into an adjacent unoccupied space of your choice. The object is made of wood, stone, or metal, your choice. And then if you're strained, the object explodes after the damage is dealt. At each creature adjacent to the target takes damage equal to 2. You also take damage equal to 2 that can't be reduced in any way. Oh, wow. You literally just create something. That's really cool. And then Optic Blast. Ooh, this might be the one we're going with, yeah. So you deal damage, ranged 10, when targeting an object with a solid reflective surface or a creature carrying or wearing such an object. You can target 1 additional creature or object within 3 squares of the first target. So it bounces off of them. If you're strained, you gain 1 surge that you can use immediately, and you take damage equal to 2 that can't be reduced in any way. Okay, nice. Spirit Sword, melee. You deal damage, you gain a surge, and the target takes 3 extra damage if you're strained. And you also take 3 damage. I think we're going to go with Optic Blast. I think this is probably going to be a ranged creature, or a ranged fighter. Tropic Bolt, probably Corruption Dam, probably Entropic Bolt as well. Yeah, and you know, keep blasting them. There. A 3-cost ability. Awe. 1 creature. If you target an ally, they gain temporary stamina equal to 6, and they can end 1 effect on them that is ended by a saving throw or ends at the end of their turn. If you target an enemy, you make a power roll, and they can be frightened of you and they take damage, and then they can be frightened of you. Choke. Yep, this might be it. You want to do the Darth Vader choke. Damage slowed or restrained, depending on if you get a tier 3. You can be either restrained or slowed. And you can vertical pull the target up to 2 squares. If the target is made restrained by this ability, this forced movement ignores their stability. Ooh. I like this. Precognition. This is definitely Chronopath, yeah. Melee 2, self or 1 ally. Ability rolls made against the target take a bane until the start of your next turn. Whenever the target takes damage while under this effect, you can use a triggered action to make a free strike against the source of the damage. Ooh, that's cool. Smolder. Smoke flows from your enemy like tears as their skin begins to blacken and flake. Oh my god. Choose the damage type and the weakness for this ability from one of the following: acid, corruption, or fire. The target takes damage before this ability imposes any weakness. Ooh. And then damage and weakened. Or weakness 5. Oh my god. Wow. I think we might go with choke. Classic, you know? Flashback. It's a maneuver. Range 10, self for 1 ally. The target uses an ability with a base heroic resource cost of 7 or lower that they've previously used this round without needing to spend the base cost. Augmentations to this ability can be paid for as result. Or as usual, sorry. And then if you're strained, you take 1d6 damage. So this is, yeah, this is just like a rewinding time, which is really useful. Inertial Soak is telekinesis. Range 10, sell for 1 ally. The target ignores difficult terrain and takes no damage from forced movement until the start of the next turn. Whenever the target enters a square while under this effect, you can push one adjacent creature up to a number of squares equal to 2. When pushing an ally, the target can ignore that ally's stability. A creature can only be forced moved this way once a turn. Ooh, you're weakened if you're strained. While you're weakened this way, whenever you are force moved, the force movement distance gains a +5 bonus. That's cool. Iron. Okay, so these are all maneuvers, right? Yeah, they're all maneuvers. Cool. Range 10, sell for 1 ally. The target's stability increases by an amount equal to 2, and they gain 10 temporary stamina and 2 surges. The stability increase lasts until the target no longer has temporary stamina from this ability. Strained, you can't use maneuvers. Ooh, yikes. But you've already used it, so you're good. Perfect Clarity. Till the start of your next turn, the target gains a +3 bonus to their speed, and they have a double edge on their next power roll they make. If the target obtains a tier 3 outcome on the roll, you gain 1 Clarity. You take 1d6 damage if you're strained, and you can't use triggered actions, save ends. Ooh. I think it's going to be either Flashback or Perfect Clarity. I really like Perfect Clarity because that can, you're buffing allies, and I think the sort of theme with this one is less of, rewinding time. It's more of like forced movement and that kind of stuff, or forced movement, but like, knocking people around and that kind of thing. Okay, yeah, now we just have skills. Okay, cool. Maybe we go with lore skills, like yeah. I like the idea of someone knowing timescape stuff. I like that because she's weird, because she has this these weirdo powers, right? She knows a lot of stuff. Yeah. Gymnastics, heal, jump. Jump makes sense if she's, empowers herself with her own psychic abilities. That's cool. And then I think Criminal Underworld makes sense because she was part of it, right? She was a prisoner of it. That makes sense. 2 lore skills. History and maybe monsters? Like, what do you do in school? You learn about history and you learn about learn about monsters in school. But yeah, let's go history and society, maybe. Yeah, let's go society. Why not? And then a supernatural perk, right? What did we get? What did we get? Mind speech, right? We got that, and where is it? Where is it? Telepathy. Yeah. Okay. So we can already speak with our friends through their minds. So we can get a perk here. Creature sense could be cool, or where is it? Familiar. Let's go with familiar. I'll come up with a cool little familiar that they can have for the game. I think it'd be cool. And then 2 more. What kind of skills? Interpersonal and lore. I think empathize. I like empathize, and I like empathize, and I kind of like where is it? Handle animals? Interrogate, intimidate, lead, lie. Monsters? Yeah, I like monsters, and I like oh no, not flirt. Empathize. Yeah. I like that. Okay. All right, what did we get? We had a language there, but that's taking care of that. We have another language there, and an inciting incident that I will have to write. So I think that's done. Yeah, Glass. She's a devil, mage's apprentice, kind of, by way of imprisonment, and then a telepathic talent. Really cool. Really cool. And then the last one. It's the one you've been waiting for. It's Jackson Bootblack. The Troubadour. All right. And he's a polder. He's just a little guy. And polders have 4 to spend. And they already get Shadow Meld. You can flatten yourself into a shadow against a wall or floor you are touching and become hidden from any creature you have cover or concealment from who isn't observing you. And they can't do much in that form, but they can observe, certainly. And then they are small. Your diminutive stature lets you easily get out of or into trouble. Okay. Corruption immunity. You gain resistance against the unnatural. Maybe. I think you get corruption immunity equal to your level or something, or equal to your something score. Maybe, probably just your level, actually. You can't be frightened. Graceful retreat. I like this. I like this. Nimble step. A light step serves you well when speed is of the essence. You ignore the effects of difficult terrain and can move at full speed while sneaking. Ooh. Poltergeist. Ridiculous name. Evading others' notice gives you freedom to move at the start of each of your turns during combat if no enemy has line of effect to you, or if you are hidden from them or have concealment from any enemy within line of effect to you. You gain a +3 bonus to speed until the end of your turn. I like that. Whenever you are force moved, reactive tumble really is useful, as well as the disengage. Graceful retreat, and let's go. Reactive tumble, and then we still have how many points? Dang, we still have 2 points, yeah. Let's go with nimble step. A light step serves you well. You ignore speed at difficult terrain. It's sneaking. I like that. Culture. We know what he is. He is I think another one born in the city. We can make him rural, actually. Yeah, let's have him work in a more rural town. I think he's from a small beginnings, right? Bureaucratic, communal, I think communal, and then creative, almost certainly, I think. Yeah, creative. Then you get skills from that, and a language. Okay, what was he? Where is he? Where is it? Where is it? I think he has always been a performer of some kind. Yeah. Let's look at the other ones here. Watch officer, sailor, politician. Yeah, I think performer. Yeah. You know, their skill and interpersonal perk. Here we go. Charming liar. If you fail a test using the lie skill, you don't suffer any consequences associated with the failure. Additionally, during a negotiation, you can be caught in one lie without negative consequences. When you use either benefit of this perk, you can't use this perk again until you earn one or more victories. Dazzler. Whenever a creature catches you sing or watches you sing, dance, or perform a role as an actor, not in disguise, for 1 uninterrupted minute or more, you gain an edge on any test made to influence that creature for 1 hour after the performance ends. I like that. Engrossing monologue. Whenever you are not in combat, you can shout to get the attention of hearing creatures within 10 squares of you. Each such creature who is not hostile toward you listens to what you have to say for 1 uninterrupted minute or more, or until they sense danger or any form of imminent harm. While creatures are listening to you, each of your allies gains an edge on tests made to avoid being noticed by those creatures. I like that. Whenever you make a presence test using the magic or using the music skill to influence creatures who don't have emotions or can't understand you. Additionally, once during a negotiation, an ally makes an argument, you can play music to give that ally an edge on their test. Ooh, that's very Troubadour coded right there. I like that. You can make a presence test. Yeah, to me, yeah, I really like that. I really like that. In response to another creature communicating information to you, you can spend a hero token to determine whether that information contained any knowing lies. If so, you know what the lies are and not what the truth is. Oh, sorry. If so, you know what the lies are, but not what the truth is. Open book. Whenever you speak one-on-one with a creature, you can ask them one question about themselves that might typically offend them or raise suspicion. If they choose, that might typically offend them or raise suspicion. If they choose not to answer honestly, they simply deflect or redirect the question with no further complication. If they choose to answer honestly, the creature can immediately ask you a question about yourself in turn, which you must answer honestly. Oh boy. Pardon my friend, when an ally within 5 squares fails a presence test, you can step in and make a presence test that takes a bane with your roll, replacing the ally's roll. This perk can be used only once per test, even if more than one character has it. Ooh. Power player, whenever you make a test that uses brag, flirt, or intimidate skills, you can use might instead of any other characteristic the test calls for. Nice. So tell me, whenever you succeed on a presence test to influence 1 or more creatures, you can ask one creature you influenced a follow-up question after the test resolves, which they must answer honestly. At the director's discretion, the creature doesn't have to answer the question completely or at all if the response would put them or a loved one in danger. It's about the tell. Whenever you make a test to read a person and obtain a tier 3 outcome, you notice several tells that give away their true feelings. Any test you make to read that person in the future gains an edge. Nice, nice. All of these are really good, actually. Engrossing monologue can be really cool if you're trying to distract the enemies, you know? I think we might have to go in the engrossing monologue. Or Dazzler. I think engrossing monologue, yeah. Inciting incident. Cursed audience. I'll write something up for that. Inciting incident, we just have more skills there. And we have Troubadour. So you have read person automatically as a skill. And you have drama as a heroic resource. And you get a kit, scene partner, and all this. Oh, wow, there's a lot. There's a lot with the Troubadour. Agility and presence. So we want to go maybe 1/1 -1 with this arrangement. Yeah, -1 in might makes sense. And then choose a class act. Auteur. You seek drama from story and recount using your magic to manipulate the sequence of events unfolding before you. Duelist. Drama influences your every movement done in tandem with another. You perform dances of death, putting trust in your opponent to return your passion in kind. Virtuoso. You find drama in music and song, weaving magic between vibrations and filling the audience with your pathos. I think Auteur. That's the one that I played a while ago in Renee's game. It's a lot of fun. And I know it quite well, so I think it'll help at the table. More skills, and then a kit. Arcane Archer. You get a bow. And you deal some damage there. Battle Mind. I don't think Battle Mind is the one. Cloak and Dagger might go well with a Polder. Dual Wielder. Use a Polearm. I'm not really seeing that. Martial Artist. Unarmed Strike. I'm seeing like where's the one? Not Ranger. Rapid Fire. I can see like where is it? Spell Sword. Spell Sword is the one that I used for a while. Light armor and a shield. That's cool. A stick and robe. Swashbuckler. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, a decent buff from all this stuff. Yeah, from all like across the board. Armor, like you get nice stamina, nice speed, damage, and disengage. I like it. I like it. Sword and board I don't see. Warrior Priest, no. Whirlwind, maybe Whirlwind. That could be cool. That could be flavorful. I don't think anyone else has a whip that they use. I think that could be kind of cool. Maybe. But I think for now, I think a Swashbuckler is cool. Get a signature ability. Artful Flourish. And they said practicing fencing was a waste. 2 creatures or objects. Deal some damage, and you can shift up to 3 squares. I like that. This one can be, yeah, for sure, like a little shifty shifter. You spend some resource. You can target 1 additional creature or object for every 2 drama spent. Ooh, I like that. Cutting sarcasm. There you are, radiating your usual charisma. 1 creature, range 10, psychic damage. I like that. Instigator. I didn't do that. What? Very cheeky. Damage. The target is taunted by you or a willing ally adjacent to you until the end of the target's next turn. And then witty banter. We all know and love it. It could be ranged or melee. And 1 ally within 10 squares of you can end 1 effect on them that is ended by a saving throw or that ends at the end of their turn. The chosen ally can spend a recovery as well if you spend 1 point. So this is a good sort of off-healer type of ability. Or you can go... We can lean into the Swashbuckler with Artful Flourish. I think we're going to go with Artful Flourish. That's cool. Harsh Critic. You deal some sonic damage and you insult them. Just 1 bad review will ruin their day. The first time the target uses an ability before the start of your next turn, any effects from the abilities to your outcomes other than damage are negated for all targets. Ability effects that always happen regardless of the power roll work as usual. So it's like if there's it's only damage. It's not like potencies or any other effects. You kind of nullify that. That's really cool. Hypnotic overtones. You produce an entrancing note that twists the senses in a spectacular fashion. So you slide them around and daze them. The size of the burst increases by 1 for every 2 drama spent. Really cool. Quick rewrite. 3 cube. You deal some damage and slow or restrain them. And then upstage. This is the big one. So you move around, and you shift up to 8 squares. You can make 1 power roll that targets each enemy you move adjacent to during this shift, and then you taunt them or potentially knock them prone. This is a. If we're going with someone who can like fence, that's probably the one to do. Yeah. Let's go with upstage, and it's only a maneuver too. Okay, now our 5 cost, our 5 drama ability, dramatic reversal, 3 burst, self and each ally in the area. They can make a free strike. They can shift. Yeah, tier 1 is the target can shift 1 square and make a free strike. Tier 2, the target can shift up to 2 squares and make a free strike that gains an edge. And then tier 3, they can shift up to 3 squares and make a free strike that gains an edge, then can spend a recovery. This is probably going to be the one. Fake your death. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. You turn invisible and create a magical illusion of your corpse falling in your space. While you are invisible, you gain a +3 bonus to your speed, and you ignore difficult terrain. The illusion and your invisibility last until the end of your next turn, or until the illusion is interacted with, you take damage, or you use a main action or a maneuver. It could be, useful for getting out of trouble. Flip the script. A 3 burst, self and each ally in the area. Each target can teleport up to 5 squares. Any teleported target who was slowed is no longer slowed. Can be useful. Method acting. They're so hurt by your performance, you start to believe it yourself. My God. Damage and they're weakened. You can become bleeding, save ends, to deal an extra 5 corruption damage to the target. Wow, that's cool. I think dramatic reversal is the coolest option. And I think we just, we have to get skills. Gotta get skills. Maybe criminal underworld? Forgery. Someone's gotta have forgery. Gymnastics, heal, jewelry, lift. We got to get a lot of interpersonal ones in here. Maybe he was a jewel thief turned hero. Perform. Obviously, he needs perform. Needs music automatically. Flirt and persuade. Inciting incident we'll figure out later. He gets 2 interpersonal skills. Lie will help. And let's go with gamble. We'll see what he gets. He's gonna get into trouble. Intrigue or lore skill. There are a lot of good ones here. Well, he's got to get into trouble, so yeah, let's go with sneak. Yeah, let's go with sneak. He just has that one language left, and then he will be done. And I think that's it. Yeah, yeah. Jackson Bootblack, the Polder troubadour, auteur, the one who tells the story. He's the one later on in some tavern somewhere. He's the one telling the story of the session that's going on right now. And he's, you know, a born performer and swashbuckler. And yeah, 21 stamina, some recoveries, and his recovery value is obviously 7. And he's well known either for good or ill, and he has 1 wealth. So yeah, I think that's probably it. We've made all 9 iconics here. I think I don't know what's next for a stream. I need to make an adventure. Actually, I need to make. I need to start writing the adventure, so maybe I'll do some of that later in the week. Haven't decided quite yet what I'm going to do, but maybe this week we'll write an adventure together. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, write the adventure that all these heroes are going to be in. That will be cool. Yeah, but until then, I guess I'll catch you later.